Hello interwebs, welcome to Let's Fix Computers. I've got a MacBook Air here that's been liquid damaged, and apparently the trackpad doesn't work and the fan is running on high speed and it's very slow. So I'm just going to quickly turn this on so hopefully we can demonstrate those things. And I've got a pretty good idea on what's going to be wrong with this thing. Oh yeah, the trackpad is stone dead, so hold on a moment. Right, so as you can see, as I'm moving my finger, the trackpad is not moving at all. No one at home there at all. Computer hasn't crashed though, because if I use the arrow keys, I can select the user accounts. So keyboard is fine, no trackpad at all. And already after just a few seconds of being turned on, I can hear the fan ramping up as well, which shouldn't be the case. Just on the desktop, an Apple laptop should be silent, basically. So pretty straightforward. Oh, the trackpad just... The mouse cursor just jittered about a bit. It's almost like it's picking up my movement like 30 seconds later. But it was sort of going oof, oof, oof across the screen. So I think we've got a colossal amount of lag or whatever. Either way, let's turn this thing off. And let's open it up. So what I think has happened here is... in a MacBook Air, the keyboard connects to the trackpad via a flex, and then the trackpad connects back to the logic board. I'm just looking around for my screwdriver. So in the event of a damaged trackpad, firstly, it's quite common that the keyboard doesn't work properly, but in this case we seem to have a working keyboard. However, if the liquid has damaged the trackpad, then obviously the trackpad isn't going to work properly. Additionally, the trackpad also has a thermal sensor on it, which is like TP1 or something like that. And that thermal sensor often either gets damaged by liquid or its signal trace is damaged. And thus that sensor will not provide a reading. And if a thermal sensor in the laptop is being obstructed or giving a false reading, the fan will automatically kick onto high speed just in case it's overheating. Because if the laptop is unable to detect its temperature, it will assume it's overheating. So that covers the fan speed. And finally, in the event of a thermal sensor issue, the laptop will also quite commonly throttle back into what's known as Limp Mode, where it will function, but it will be catastrophically slow, and you'll often get extremely high CPU load readings, which there'll be a technical reason as to why it reads high CPU usage, but it's to do with just the way the CPU load is being read. But at any rate, it goes slow, basically. So let's just carry on digging into this. So quick look on the front here. Let me give you a close-up. So at an initial glance, we've got some cobwebs and some dust, but it doesn't look too bad. Everything looks in order there. And in addition to that, if I look on the back of the case as well, you can see there's no signs of liquid ingress here. There's a few fingerprints that I've just put in it, but we've got very smooth dust coverage. There's no stains or clear signs where liquid has disturbed it. So it looks like we had basically no liquid on top of the logic board, which is fine. And again, that tallies with what we already knew, because if we have an issue with the trackpad, then we're expecting to find liquid on the trackpad. So let's get the battery out of there. So now I'm going to switch to the T5 screwdriver and remove the battery screws. And same deal, bottom of the battery, no stains at all. Liquid sensors haven't gone off, those are all still white. What gives? This thing looks fine. Okay. I was expecting to see a load of corrosion scum around there or something like that. Here's the close-up to make sure I'm not being blind. So here's the keyboard flex coming in. That doubles back on itself and connects underneath there. You can just see the connector underneath the flex. There's the flex that goes back to the logic board. And yeah, as you can see, that is pristine. That looks absolutely fine. Like I bought one. Okay then, so what about the other end? It's a little bit scummy, but you know, I wouldn't expect that to be causing an issue. Well, you never know what's hiding underneath a logic board, and you know, this thing's been liquid damaged. There's got to be something wrong with it somewhere, surely. So let's take out the logic board and keep digging to see if we can find something wrong with this. And at the same time, we'll just clean up these cobwebs and such like, and we'll just see if it comes good, basically. So first thing I'm going to do is just remove that SSD. So that's got our customer data on it, so we're going to put that carefully to one side. Then we're going to move the fan, I/O board, and the logic board, and just move backwards to from the right to the left. Let's do it. And we find nothing. Absolutely nothing. Apart from a bit of dust on there. You know, that dust is completely normal because this side of the board is up against the rear vent, so there's going to be some dust ingress there. There is absolutely nothing to see here. This thing is clean. Yeah. Again, have we got any more water sensors on the underside of the board? I don't think we have. But again, the water sensor on top of the board, here and here, those are both white. Those have not triggered, and these things are on a hair trigger. You know, if there's any liquid, they will turn pink, you know. I'll just brush that board off for good measure. Not going to bother getting the alcohol out or anything. Just going to paintbrush that dry. Don't worry, we're in the UK. Static electricity doesn't exist here. Yeah, I tell you, I'm beginning to think that maybe this might have been fixed just by doing an SMC reset or something like that. We've come this far. We'll take the trackpad out for good measure just to make sure there's nothing really bizarre there. But, you know, to be honest, I think I need to put this thing back together and look for a software solution. Which, yeah, okay. Let's open it up. Oh, there we go. Huh. Close-up time. Well, there it is, everyone. I just removed that flex, and you saw the close-up. From above, it looked pristine. Yet as soon as I took that flex out and turned it over, yeah, small wonder we're having problems there. That's really localized. I'm amazed that hasn't just come through. Okay, right. Well, that looks pretty bad, but I think that's salvageable. I think we can clean that up. So we'll carry on taking this out. We'll clean it all up, put it back in again, and I reckon it's going to be okay. So to get the keyboard flex out, I'm just going to lift up this bit, and I'm just putting my tweezers in on this side. I'll just move you to one side just so you can see the bar open. There we go. You just saw that bit flip up there. Well, you probably didn't, but you'll see it when I take this bit out. Okay, so with the flex removed, you can see that there is a locking bar there. And the keyboard connector, that guy is absolutely fine. No problems whatsoever. And yeah, that's fine. It's just right there. That's really, really specific. What about the actual trackpad sense flex there? That's okay. There's a couple of spots on that, but nothing that I think is actually going to cause a problem. Let's take out these screws on both sides, and then we can remove the trackpad itself. Okay, it's time for the 00 Phillips, and I'm going to take out the top ones. Oof. I think these might be 000. Where's my 0? Let's just check if the 0 hits better. Yeah, 0's not getting in there. That's a 000 screw. How annoying. Okay, I'm going to be a baddie, and I'm just going to use a little bit of force because I don't have a 000 wearer. There we go. However, these wearer screwdrivers are pretty darn good, and with a bit of technique, it will go down a step. He says as he shreds one of the heads. Oh, that's what I get. Oh, to be honest, my 000 doesn't get into that properly either. Those are really... Oh, those are horrid screws, those are. I'm not even mad at myself for stripping one of that. Okay, let's get the rest out and then we'll deal with that. Oof. I'm going to put my hand on the other side of this just so I'm not pressing into the glass. Right, I'm just going to see if I can GBH this one out because I've stripped that head, which is my bad. I've got no one to blame but myself for that. No, that's gone. That's toast. Alright, I cocked up. Feel free to mock me in the comments. I'm getting the Dremel. Right, cutting disc, Dremel. Here we go. And flathead screwdriver, and out she comes. And that's how you deal with a stripped screw head. Obviously use the right screwdriver, although that much being, well, I don't know, I was kind of out of options there because after I started damaging the head I did actually get my 000 screwdriver from my cheapo set, and my cheapo 000 screwdriver doesn't seem to fit these screws properly either. So I think if you want to deal with those screws, you actually need a proper, decent 000 Phillips screwdriver. I might have to... I'm probably going to buy some more because these wearer screwdrivers, they are excellent. However, I've been too cheap to buy a big set of them because they cost a fortune. However, I'll probably buy some more because the ones that I've had, I've got 1, 0 and 00, and then I've also got a load of Torx heads for them as well, and they are worth every penny. Trust me on this. I was very skeptical about these, but they are worth every penny. So I'm probably going to buy 000 for dealing with those. Anyway, that's how we deal with a stripped head. Get your Dremel, cut the slot across it, take it out with a flat head. Obviously, we're not going to put that screw back in. I've probably got a spare. If not, I'll just leave one of them out. There's 6 screws here. We don't need all 6 of them. We'll be all right. Anyway, let's carry on. If we have a look at the bay, so to speak, you can see just a tiny bit of corrosion there. There must have been just a really small amount of liquid on this thing because the ingress seems to be really small, but it just hit exactly the wrong places. Let's go for the super close-up on this guy. So you can see that there's really not much damage there. It's just really specific on that connector. So we'll attack that with the toothbrush and the alcohol, and that should clean right up. Now, the main danger is this flex, because corrosion will attack those copper traces really quickly. And if you're not careful when cleaning them up, you'll just take all those traces off. I've done it before, and if you do that, you need to buy a new one of these cables. And you can get them on eBay. They're not terribly expensive. It's just inconvenient. So as I say, I'll very carefully just clean that up, and we'll see if we can save it. But yeah, small wonder why we're missing signals here. It's very difficult to get into these flat connectors. You can just see some of the pins in there are a little bit darker, but if we're lucky, we've done enough. So there's our cleaned cable, and you can see how those traces have been attacked as it is. However, I'm confident that that level of cleaning is probably enough for the cable to be all right. So we'll put it back together like that, and we'll see how we get on. This cable is quite accessible in the laptop anyway. You only need to remove the battery to get to this flex. So if I haven't done enough, then it won't be difficult to take that out and just put in a new cable. Same goes for the trackpad itself. Although I've taken out all the logic board and stuff from this laptop, I didn't actually have to. It turned out that the logic board was absolutely fine. So yeah, if we still have trouble with after this, then we're going to replace this trackpad, would be my guess. But I reckon we've done enough for that to all come good. Given the very, very low level of damage to this, if we had corrosion all over this section and all over this board here, and I'd had to clean all of that up, I would seriously be doubting that this trackpad was actually still usable. But given the very low level of damage, I think we've done enough. I can still hear high fan speed. I don't have high hopes. We're just on the loading bar at the moment. I don't think it's going to work though. We'll see. It's taking far too long to start up as well, so I think we're still in limp mode. So it absolutely looks like I'm not so lucky that just a toothbrush and some alcohol has done the job. Okay, right, we've booted into recovery mode, probably because I missed a password prompt or something, or just several unattempted boots. And yeah, the fan's going like the clappers. We've got no trackpad. We're nowhere, basically. So we found the problem, but we just haven't fixed it. But as I say, I'm not too worried. We're going to take the back off again. We're going to whip that trackpad and cable out. And I'm going to dig around and see if I've got any spares. Hopefully, between the other bits I've got lying around, we'll have something that fits this. And I'm going to start with the cable, I think. So let me take these back off. I did commit to putting the battery back in, but I didn't commit to putting all the screws back in the bottom. Okay, I have found a replacement trackpad cable. So let's put in a different one. And if this sorts it, then it's just the cable. If this doesn't sort it, then we're going to need a new trackpad as well. And I have another trackpad, but the Breaker laptop that I've just stolen this cable from itself is liquid damaged and has a liquid damaged trackpad. So I'm not sure if the parts I have to test with are any good. This cable appears to be pristine condition though, so I trust this for a test. Let's get the thing back together again, and we'll see if anything has changed. I'm going to keep testing with the battery in just for fair testing. Although it's worth noting that a bad battery could also be causing issues, so I should actually run a test with no battery and see if we get any change. Still taking a while to boot, however, between the traffic going outside, I can't hear the fan spooling up. So this might just be as a result of the laptop being upset, which is quite common. However, yeah, we have a trackpad. Trackpad is now functional. I think, yeah, it's just slow because it's gone back into recovery mode. So this will be fixed just by selecting the boot device. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to do a clean restart on this. Yeah, we've got click as well. I'll do a clean restart on this. Yeah, see, it's gone into reset password mode simply because there's been a couple of failed startup attempts which it's interpreting as user has forgotten their password. So let's click on the Apple menu in the top left, hit restart, and I'm going to hold down the option key to get the boot menu. And now I'll select just Macintosh HD. There we go, and that's taken me straight through to user selection now, which I've got to cover up because it's got customer data on it. However, yeah, we now have fully functional trackpad, and there's no fan spin up yet either, so I'm willing to bet that that's us done. So I'm going to put all the screws in, and then I'll get it through to the desktop and leave it running for about 10 or 15 minutes just to confirm. So I'll see you guys after the cut. Okay, right, I haven't had this one running for too long, however, given that the fan was spooling up almost within seconds of turning it on, you saw at the start of the video how quickly that fan was starting to wind up, and right now it's sitting there running dead silent. It's doing some photo stuff in the background. Photo analysis ID is sitting there on a moderate CPU usage. Apparently it's at 150% CPU. I don't understand how the hell Activity Monitor calculates CPU usage. Maybe 100% is one core, I don't know. At any rate though, it's certainly operating normally, and the trackpad is responding just fine as well. So I'm going to call that a victory. So now what I'm going to do, I'm going to turn it off and I'm going to give it a good clean. So in summary, all we had wrong with this was some liquid damage, very specifically on the connector between the trackpad and the logic board. And that was just damaging a couple of channels that were enough to disrupt communications to the trackpad, but not the keyboard. And also just to block that temperature sensor, so we were getting a thermal sensor issue that was causing limp mode and high CPU fan speed. And we solved this just by fitting a new cable between the trackpad and the logic board and giving the connector a clean up. So if replacing the cable hadn't fixed it either, as I said, we would have put in a new trackpad, or a replacement trackpad. But in this case, it looks like it was just that cable that was the problem. The old cable, it doesn't look to be in too bad a condition. Maybe with a little bit more cleaning, that might still be salvageable. However, for the cost of a replacement cable, you've got to ask yourself, well, how much time do you want to spend scrubbing away at a tiny little flex wire when you could just buy another one from eBay and be done with it? Sometimes when it comes to repair, you have to ask yourself, yes, you could fix a component, or you could just buy another one for a couple of quid. There we go, that looks nicer, doesn't it? See you all next time, everyone. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.